After 7 years of marriage, I waited for him with a cake on our anniversary, only to be greeted with a photo of his white moonlight and her son, a family of 3. He complained that I wasn't a good wife or mother, so I turned around and took the illegitimate son of the Shin family. Later, he was paralyzed in bed. His white moonlight suffered a miscarriage and became infertile, while I became the apple of his nephew's eye. When I walked out of the kitchen with the hangover soup and 7th anniversary cake, the sky outside the French windows was just beginning to dawn. Ethan's shoes were askew in the entrance hall, clearly a sign of a bad hangover. I sighed and reheated the hangover soup, placing it on the bedside table. The man in bed was sleeping soundly, his handsome eyebrows slightly furrowed even in his sleep, as if he were under immense pressure. I leaned over and placed a gentle kiss on his forehead, the lingering scent of alcohol and faint perfume making my heart flutter slightly. Today is our 7th wedding anniversary. I took a day off work to prepare surprises all day long. I made the cake myself, his favorite matcha red bean flavor. I was full of anticipation to wake him up and celebrate this important day together. However, as I picked up my phone to check the time, a notification popped up. Chloe Green posted a new Instagram update. The picture glaringly showed Chloe, Ethan, and our son Ethan Jr., all smiling exceptionally brightly, with an amusement park in the background. Ethan was holding a balloon, bending down to talk to Ethan Jr., while Chloe leaned affectionately on his shoulder. The scene is warm as a real family. The caption read, "The happiest weekend." Ethan Jr. says these are his favorite mom and dad. My heart felt like it was being clenched tightly by an invisible hand, instantly tightening. My fingertips were ice cold, and the phone almost slipped. Favorite mom and dad? That woman, with such casual words, completely erased my 7-year marriage and my position as the only mother in Ethan Jr.'s heart. Anniversary. My husband came home at dawn, hungover, but before dawn, he was playing the happiest mom and dad with another woman and my son at the amusement park. A huge wave of bitterness and anger surged in my chest. I bit my lip hard to keep myself from crying. I looked at Ethan sleeping soundly on the bed, the face that was once full of love for me, now in my eyes, only strangeness and disgust remained. I took a deep breath and gently put the hangover soup and cake back in the kitchen, as if they had never been there. I went to the cloakroom and changed into a business suit. Today's anniversary is cancelled. I walked out of the bedroom. Ethan Jr.'s room door was still closed. I walked to the door, hesitated, and finally didn't knock. I didn't know how to face him, how to face the son who smiled so affectionately at another woman in the photo. I drove to the company, my mind a mess on the way. Chloe Green, Ethan's childhood sweetheart. They grew up together, and everyone thought they would be together, but in the end, Ethan chose me. At that time, he said that I was his once-in-a-lifetime love. Looking back now, it's truly ironic. After arriving at the company, I tried to immerse myself in work, but my thoughts kept drifting back to that photo. The intimacy between Ethan and Chloe, Ethan Jr.'s attachment to Chloe, was like a dull knife, repeatedly cutting at my heart. I arranged to meet Ethan at a cafe near the company. When he arrived, he looked a little tired, but without a hint of apology. "What's so urgent?" He sat down, his tone a little impatient. I pushed my phone in front of him, the screen showing Chloe's Instagram post. He glanced at it, frowning slightly. "What's the problem with this? Chloe is Ethan Jr.'s godmother. It's normal for them to have a good relationship." "Godmother?" I sneered. "Does a godmother write that kind of caption? Does a godmother play the role of a family of 3 with you and your son the night before the anniversary?" His face darkened. "What nonsense are you talking about? Chloe and I are nothing." "Nothing? Then what is this?" I took out a stack of photos I had someone take. They were photos of Ethan and Chloe meeting in private, having meals together, picking up Ethan Jr. from school together, and even Ethan driving Chloe home. Their body language was intimate, like a real couple. He saw the photos. His eyes flickered for a moment, but he quickly regained his tough demeanor. "You had me followed? Are you out of your mind?" "Am I out of my mind?" I felt my voice trembling. Who forgot our wedding anniversary but spent happy family time with another woman? Who professed to love me but secretly had an affair with their childhood sweetheart? "I am not having an affair." He raised his voice. "It's you. Look at the way you are now, always suspicious. And look at Chloe, how well she takes care of Ethan Jr. Ethan Jr. likes her more now. Do you know why? Because she's more like a mother than you are." His words were like a knife, stabbing straight into my heart. He cheated, but turned around and blamed me. Blamed me for failing as a mother? I'm not a good mother? Tears finally streamed down my face. I gave everything for this family, gave up my career, and revolved around you and our son. And now you're telling me I'm not a good mother? What do you think you've sacrificed? He said coldly. Besides complaining and being suspicious, what else can you do? Chloe can give Ethan Jr. happiness, can you? I looked at his ruthless face and felt a sense of unfamiliarity. Where did the man who once loved me to the bone, the man who was willing to break with his family to be with me, go? I recall the car accident 3 years ago. Ethan was injured, and Chloe took care of him day and night for months. From then on, their relationship began to change. He started mentioning Chloe frequently, finding all sorts of reasons to meet her, and becoming increasingly cold towards me. I used to think the shadow of the car accident was affecting his emotions. I tried to understand, to be tolerant, to repair our relationship, but now I know, he wasn't just injured, his heart changed. Enough, I said, wiping away tears. My heart is still as death. Let's get a divorce. He was stunned for a moment. Then a mocking smile appeared on his face. Divorce? Is this your latest threat? Stop it. I won't agree. I'm not kidding. I took the printed divorce agreement from my bag and placed it on the table. I've already signed it. Seeing the agreement, the smile on his face froze. He picked up the agreement and looked at the photos again, his face turning ugly. Are you really going to get a divorce? His tone was no longer contemptuous, but with a hint of panic. Really, just because of these photos? He pointed to the photos. Listen to my explanation. Things aren't what you think. Explain what? I looked at him. Explain you playing house with Chloe and Ethan Jr. the night before Memorial Day? Explain you giving her the birthday gift necklace you said you lost? He suddenly looked up. The necklace? How do you know about the necklace? I didn't answer, just looked at him. He suddenly scratched his hair irritably. Okay, I admit, I've been getting closer to Chloe lately, but that's just because Ethan Jr. likes her, and she can better understand the pressure I have at work. Understands your work pressure, so understands it all the way to bed? I interrupted him coldly. No, he denied. How could you think of me like that? What do I think of you? I laughed, tears streaming down my face. Ethan Smith, do you remember what you once said? You said I was your only one. You said you would never love anyone but me. Now you tell me, how did you manage to say you loved me while playing a family of 3 with another woman and my son, and giving the gift you gave me to her? He was stumped by my words, his eyes darting around. I struck while the iron was hot and dropped the bomb I had prepared. Do you think I don't know? Your mother has been in contact with Chloe's family recently and is already preparing for your wedding with Chloe. His face changed instantly, from the previous toughness and sophistry to shock and anger. What are you talking about? Wedding? Impossible. My mother wouldn't do such a thing. She would. I looked at him. She has never liked me and thinks I am not good enough for you. Now that she has the opportunity to let you marry her preferred daughter-in-law, she will certainly be happy to make it happen. You're talking nonsense. He stood up abruptly, the chair making a piercing sound. Are you trying to provoke my relationship with my mother again? You are such a vicious woman. You are not a good wife or a good mother at all. How could I have chosen you in the first place? I was so blind. He stormed out, leaving me alone in the cafe, surrounded by people coming and going, while my world seemed to be paused. I didn't sleep all night. After Ethan left, I returned to the empty villa, feeling indescribably mixed emotions. I opened Instagram and clicked on Chloe's page again. Her latest post was a selfie of her wearing a delicate necklace, captioned, "A once-in-a-lifetime love. Thank you. I am too familiar with this necklace. It was a gift Ethan gave me for my 25th birthday. He said he had searched the whole city to find this necklace. Unique, just like the love between us. Later, he told me the necklace was lost. I was very sad, and he comforted me for a long time. Now I know that it wasn't lost. It was given to his once-in-a-lifetime love." Memories flooded back. I remembered how Ethan persisted in being with me despite the enormous pressure from his family when we were in college. I remembered how he saved for months to buy me a birthday gift. I remembered the way he knelt on one knee when he proposed, with tears in his eyes, and said to me, "Marry me, and I will love you for the rest of my life." After the marriage, he was very good to me, spoiling me like a princess, until that car accident 3 years ago. After he woke up, everything changed. He became taciturn, easily irritable, and increasingly indifferent to me. I thought it was post-traumatic stress disorder, and I carefully cared for him, But I didn't know that he had already given his heart to another person. Looking at the empty villa, I suddenly felt that this wasn't my home. I had lived here for 7 years, but it was as if I had never truly owned it. I had very few of my own things. Most of them were bought by Ethan or bore the imprint of the Smith family. I started packing my luggage, my clothes, my books, some small objects that had special meaning for me. I realized that all I could take with me were 2 suitcases. Ethan didn't show up on the day I moved out of the villa. I didn't notify him either. I moved into a small apartment, which was small, but at least it was my own space. It's been 10 days since I moved out. Ethan hasn't given me a call or sent me a text message. It's as if I had never existed in his life. I occasionally scroll through Instagram and see photos of Chloe and Ethan Jr. They went to the movies together, ate ice cream together, and attended school events together. Every time I see them, my heart aches as if it's being pricked with needles. Ethan Jr., my son, seems to have completely accepted Chloe as part of his life, until one day, I received an anonymous email containing high-definition and censored photos of Ethan and Chloe, blatant evidence, slammed hard in my face. I sent Ethan a text message. I received the photos. Did you sign the divorce agreement? If you don't sign, I'll have to go through legal procedures. He didn't reply. I no longer hesitated and formally filed for divorce in court. At the same time, I also submitted my resignation to Smith Corp. This company, where I once poured all my heart and soul, now seems to be nothing more than a shackle binding my marriage. After resigning, I started to replan my life. I participated in some social events, hoping to find new job opportunities. At a business cocktail party, I unexpectedly met people from the Smith family and the Green family. Ethan, Chloe, Ethan Sr., Ethan's father, and some Smith family members and Green family members I didn't recognize were gathered together, talking and laughing. I took a deep breath and walked over with my glass. Ethan, long time no see, I said, smiling as I stood in front of them. Ethan saw me. A look of surprise flashed across his face. Then he returned to his icy demeanor. Why are you here? Why can't I be here? I looked at him, then at Chloe. I quit my job and I need to find something to do. It seems the Smith family and the Green family have a really good relationship, even having parties together. Anyone who didn't know would think they were in-laws. My words stunned everyone present. Ethan's face was very ugly. Are you stalking me? Ethan accused. Stalking you? I scoffed. Ethan Smith, you think too highly of yourself. I don't care who you're with or who you're partying with at all. I walked around Ethan and went to Ethan Jr., my son. He was wearing a small suit and looked very cute. Ching ching. I called him softly. Ethan Jr. saw me and his body visibly stiffened. He took a step back and hid behind Chloe. Mom, what are you doing here? His voice was small, with a hint of timidity. I came to see you. My heart ached. Is he avoiding me? Ethan Sr. spoke up at this time, his tone filled with haughty arrogance. What are you doing here? We Smith family gatherings do not welcome outsiders. Outsider? I looked at Ethan Sr. Mr. Shen. I am Ethan Smith's legal wife and a former employee of Smith Corp. How did I become an outsider? Humph. Ethan Sr. snorted disdainfully. Soon you won't be. Chloe hid behind Ethan Jr. and gave me a provocative smile. That smile was like a fire, instantly igniting all my anger. I grabbed Chloe's hair and slapped her hard across the face before she could react. Ah! Chloe screamed and staggered to the ground. Everyone was stunned. Ethan was even more furious. What are you doing? Ethan rushed over to pull me away. I bent down, picked up a high heel that Chloe had dropped on the ground, and stuffed it directly into her screaming mouth. Don't you like to steal other people's things? Taste the flavor of this shoe. I looked at the disheveled Chloe, my tone icy. Mrs. Smith's position. You want it so badly, right? Ching Ching's mother. You want to be her too, right? Then let /s see if you have the ability. You're crazy. Ethan pushed me away and rushed over to help Chloe up. My cheek was burning with pain. Ethan used a lot of force when he pushed me just now. I/am crazy? I looked at him, my eyes sharp. I/am telling you, Ethan Smith, I not only want a divorce, but I also want to ruin your reputation. I want everyone to see what kind of person you really are. How dare you? Ethan roared. I dare. I met his gaze. You better sign the divorce agreement quickly. Otherwise, I'll make you and this Miss Chloe the laughingstock of all of New York. I turned around and, under the gaze of everyone, left with my head held high. Leaving the cocktail party, I felt a loneliness I had never experienced before. I sat alone in the car, tears streaming down my face silently. Ethan came after me and stood outside my car window, a complex expression on his face. But I didn't stop. I floored the accelerator and sped away. I didn't know where to go, and suddenly I thought of someone. I took out my phone and dialed Aiden Smith's number. Aiden is Ethan's half-brother, the illegitimate son of the Smith family. He is a few years younger than Ethan and has always been on the fringes of the Smith family. I didn't have much interaction with him. I just knew he existed. Hello? Aiden's deep voice came from the other end of the phone. Aiden, it's me. My voice was a little hoarse. What's wrong? He heard that something was off with me. I told him about my current situation and what had just happened at the party. After listening, he was silent for a moment, and then said, "Where are you? I will come find you." Aiden arrived quickly. When he saw the handprint on my face, his eyes instantly turned sharp. "Who hit you?" he asked, his tone icy. "Ethan," I said softly. He didn't say anything more, just looked at me quietly. His eyes were very complex, with pity, anger, and a hint of emotion I couldn't understand. He reached out and gently stroked my cheek, the gesture so tender that it surprised me a little. The atmosphere became a little ambiguous. Then, he leaned down and kissed me. The next day, I didn't go to work at Smith Corp. I spent the whole morning printing out those photos, enlarging them, and then having people plaster them all over the entrances of the Smith Corp. and Green Ink. buildings. At the same time, I contacted a lawyer and sold all of the Smith Corp. shares that Ethan had previously transferred to me as marital property. In the afternoon, I took Aiden's arm and made a high-profile appearance at a charity gala for a media outlet. Aiden is an illegitimate son of the Smith family, and although he is not well liked, he still has a certain reputation in some circles. Our appearance immediately caused a great uproar. The photo incident quickly fermented on social media. Chloe Green became a universally condemned mistress, and Green Ink.'s reputation was severely affected. Smith Corp.'s stock price also fell as a result. Both companies were in a state of chaos. While I watched all of this with a cold eye, Ethan started calling and texting me like crazy. He asked me what was going on with the resignation, who sent the photos, and where I went. I didn't reply to any of them, until he sent me a text message. "Let's talk about divorce." I agreed. I chose a cafe, still the same place where I met him last time. Ethan looked much more haggard when he arrived. He had dark circles under his eyes and was unshaven. He sat down, looked at me, with a complex emotion in his eyes. "Did you send the photos, right?" He opened his mouth, his tone weary. I didn't answer. "Why did you do this?" he asked. "Is there a problem between us that we can't solve properly?" "Solve properly?" I looked at him, feeling disgusted. "When you and Chloe were playing a family of 3 on my anniversary, did you think about solving it properly? When you gave the necklace you gave me to someone else, did you think about solving it properly? When you were lovey-dovey with her in front of me, did you think about solving it properly? I told you, there's nothing between Chloe and me." He raised his voice, trying to defend himself. "I only treat her like a sister. I was drunk that night and mistook her for someone else." "Mistook her for someone else?" I interrupted him, finding his excuses ridiculous. "Ethan Smith, do you think I'm a 3-year-old? You can go to bed with someone you mistook for someone else? You can post once-in-a-lifetime love on Instagram with someone you mistook for someone else?" Just then, Aiden pushed the door open and walked in. He walked over and sat down next to me, naturally putting his arm around my shoulders. Ethan's face turned ashen the moment he saw Aiden. "Why did you bring someone like this?" He pointed at Aiden, his tone full of disgust and contempt. Aiden laughed, a laugh like that of an elegant fox. "Someone like this? Ethan Smith, don't you think that sounds familiar? Your father, Mr. Smith, often used someone like this to describe me as well." Ethan was stunned. He obviously didn't expect Aiden to tear through the pretense so directly. "What? You don't know who I am?" Aiden looked at him, his eyes teasing. "I am Aiden Smith, Mr. Smith's illegitimate son. By blood, I am your younger brother and Ching Ching's uncle." Ethan's face turned red and white. "I know who he is." I looked at Ethan and said calmly, "Ethan Smith, you think Aiden is that kind of person, but in my opinion, you are the disgusting one. Aiden is 100 times, 1,000 times better than you." "You." Ethan was so angry that he couldn't speak. "Do you think you'll end up well after making such a scene?" He recovered and threatened me. "Don't forget, we're not divorced yet. Your current behavior is marital infidelity." I can make you leave with nothing. Leave with nothing? I laughed, tears almost coming out. Ethan Smith, do you think I still care about those material possessions? My son, he doesn't recognize me anymore. He hides behind another woman and calls her mom. My home has already been taken over. What else can I lose? Don't think I don't know what you're up to. Ethan glared at Aiden. Are you trying to use her to deal with the Smith family? To get a piece of the pie? Aiden smiled lightly, neither denying nor admitting it. He just looked at Ethan with a hint of provocation in his eyes. Ethan, I said, interrupting them, I called you here today to tell you that I've made a decision. Aiden and I are together. Ethan's eyes widened suddenly, as if he had heard something unbelievable. I want a divorce and then be with Aiden. I looked at his shocked expression and said, word by word, as for Mrs. Smith's position, and Ching Chang's mother's position, leave them to Chloe Green, since she likes it so much. Let her have it. You're crazy. Ethan slammed the table and stood up, the coffee cup shaking from the impact. Do you think I'll agree? Do you think I'll really let you be with this illegitimate child? You're dreaming. I'm not dreaming, I said calmly. If you don't agree to a divorce, that's fine too. Anyway, I've already moved out. Next, I plan to live with Aiden. My words were like a bomb, completely detonating Ethan's emotions. He pointed at me and then at Aiden angrily, cursing under his breath. Aiden cooperatively put his arm around me, whispering in my ear, little sister-in-law. He seems very angry. His voice wasn't loud, but it was enough for Ethan to hear. Ethan's face twisted instantly. He grabbed the wine glass next to him and smashed it hard on the ground, sending shards of glass flying everywhere. Get out! Get out! All of you! He roared at us like a wounded beast. I stood up, and Aiden followed suit. We turned to leave. Stop! Ethan rushed over, trying to grab my hand. Aiden was quicker, stepping in front of me and throwing a punch that landed squarely on Ethan's cheek. Ethan staggered back, covering his face, a look of disbelief on his face. Aiden walked up to Ethan, looked down at him, and said with a disdainful tone, Ethan Smith, from now on, I'll be taking care of my little sister-in-law. You, get lost and stay away. Then, he took my hand and left the cafe without looking back. Getting into the car, Aiden suddenly pulled me into his arms and kissed me hard. His kiss was rough, as if he wanted to knead me into his body. Damn it, he said, gasping for breath. I'm going crazy with jealousy. Seeing you with him for 7 years, seeing you have children, I really want to kill him. He held me tightly, as if I were his exclusive possession. I knew that the beginning of our relationship might not have been pure. There were elements of revenge, elements of exploitation, but at this moment, in his arms, I felt an unprecedented sense of security and being needed. The divorce formalities were completed quickly, to quell the scandal and to distance themselves from me as soon as possible. The Smith family pressured Ethan to sign. I didn't take anything from the Smith family, only the portion of the property that belonged to me. After the divorce, Ethan and Chloe's lives were not as smooth as they had imagined. Chloe's reputation was ruined because of the nude photo incident, and she was pointed at wherever she went, and Green Inc.'s business was also affected. Ethan was also questioned within Smith Corp. Because of this incident, they got married, supposedly because Chloe was pregnant, but married life was full of resentment and arguing. Because of the photo incident and Ethan's past affairs, Chloe became paranoid, often checking Ethan's phone and questioning his whereabouts. Ethan resented Chloe, feeling that it was because of her that he lost me and lost the Smith family's trust. Once, the two had a big fight at home and even got physical. Chloe hit the corner of the table during the scuffle, resulting in a miscarriage, and the doctor said that it would be difficult for her to get pregnant again in the future. This incident made Chloe hate Ethan to the core. Ethan couldn't stand Chloe's neuroticism and hysteria either, and started staying out all night. He found women outside, women who had a slight resemblance to me. I was having dinner with Aiden when he told me that Chloe had slashed Ethan's lower body with a knife, completely depriving him of his fertility. When I heard the news, I didn't feel any sympathy, only a sense of poetic justice. I put down my chopsticks, feeling somewhat complicated. Don't think about him. Aiden noticed my emotions. He held my hand, his tone filled with a strong possessiveness. From now on, you can only think about me. I looked at him, knowing in my heart that he was the one who would be by my side. A few months later, one afternoon, my apartment doorbell rang. I opened the door and saw Ethan Jr. He was much thinner, his eyes were red, and he looked very aggrieved. Mom, he saw me, and tears immediately fell. My heart jolted, but it wasn't instantly melted like before. "What's wrong?" I asked him. "Lynn, Aunt Chloe is mean to me," he sobbed. "She always scolds me and doesn't let me see you." He looked at me cautiously, with a hint of pleading in his eyes. "Mom, I'm sorry. I was bad before. Don't you love me anymore?" He called me Mom. He apologized to me. My heart was filled with mixed feelings. I led him into the house and cooked him a bowl of noodles. "Mommy doesn't not love you." I looked at him and said calmly, "It's just that something has changed between us." I didn't hug him, nor did I feel so sorry for him that I cried as I used to. I just watched him eat noodles and told him, "This will always be your home, and you can come anytime. However, Mommy will no longer give you all my love as before. From now on, you love Mommy 1 point, and Mommy will give you back 1 point. I know my words are cruel, but I have to do this. I can no longer wallow in the past, nor can I let Ethan Jr. become a shackle that binds me." He chose Chloe, the person he felt was more like Mom, and he must pay the price for his choice. Watching Ethan Jr. eat noodles, I thought of Aiden. Our relationship, in the beginning, may have indeed had a purpose. He wanted to use me to strike at the Smith family, and I wanted to use him to get revenge on Ethan, but later, we both developed feelings and a strong desire to possess each other. Looking at Aiden, I understood in my heart that true love is about equal giving and response. My marriage with Ethan failed, and my mother-son bond with Ethan Jr. has also faded, but I believe that Aiden and I can start over and build a healthy, equal love. Ethan Smith and Chloe Green, they got what they wanted, but they also paid a heavy price. As for me, although I lost a marriage and a part of my mother-son relationship, I found my true self and a new possibility. The story continues, but I know that my new chapter has begun.